Hey everybody, Mr. Hancock here. Welcome back. Comp 2, here we go, Unit 2, Call to Action Essay. It's Week 7. So in Week 6, going back, you should have taken the time to start thinking about your topic and doing preliminary research, looking around, seeing what that area that you'd like to talk about, your area of study, career, interest, anything like that, and see what's just the common issues going on. What are common problems? Because your goal here in this paper is to convince your reader that we have an issue, a problem that we need to address. Not how to fix it or anything like that. Not that the field is good or that anything like this is happening when it concerns with how to do particular things. Like we should do, I don't know, like this type of nursing is better than this. None of that matters. What you're looking for is an issue, a problem in that particular field. And you're going to convince your reader that you actually have a problem. You have to imagine that your reader just doesn't really think or believe that we have that much of an issue with this thing, whatever that is that you've chosen, that topic. And so your goal now is to convince your reader that we do have a problem. That's all. So with that being said, in Week 6, you should have been looking into preliminary research and looking for current sources at the same time as you develop your argument. As I mentioned in that video, you do not want to pick a topic and write an argument and then go looking for sources. That will really put you in a bad spot. You need to be doing it at the same time. And here in Week 7, when we do our outline, you are required to show your sources as you go forward. So let's take a moment here and talk about this. Here's Week 6. Obviously, this is from my view, so it'll look a little different for you. But you have a few things to do. Besides watching this video, you have the C method handout and the C method introduction. The C method, as it will explain, is the structure for each body paragraph. You'll do the structure for every body paragraph in this particular order. This handout and this video here does not talk about secondary sources incorporation. I'm going to do that in just a moment. And then you have your outline template. And then you have your assignment to turn in your outline. Please be sure to use this template. Download this template, type in it, save it, and then upload it like you do your essays, okay? And then you have your Week 7 discussion. Your Week 7 discussion is going to ask you to answer these three, well, not answer, but address these 3 points about one secondary source that you have, okay? So, with that being said, everybody, let's go back over here. Let's look at the outline template. For just a moment. Alright, so here we are. Your name and the preliminary title, tentative title, whatever. What is the topic and what is your thesis? Your thesis needs to be an explicit statement that I am going to convince you blank. You don't say that, obviously, but that's what your thesis is going to say. We have a problem and I'm going to convince you that this is a problem. That's what you're trying to accomplish. That's your contract. That's all that matters in this paper, is that you're going to convince your reader that there is a problem with blank, whatever it may be. Okay? Nothing else matters in the body. Now, when you go to the body, I want you to follow this template. If you fill in this template correctly, you will have a nicely structured, basic argumentative essay. And that is what we're wanting right now. We're really focusing on, in this paper, not only putting together an argument and having a good, solid argument based on evidence, but it's also how we can incorporate research into that. How do we incorporate and synthesize your sources into your argument? So, let me show you how this works. Again, go back and watch your C method video now if you haven't, and then we can pick up again here. But as you can see here in paragraph 1, every paragraph is going to work like this. You have 3 parts instead of just 3. You have a statement, example, and explanation. That's your basic C method, all right? A topic sentence, evidence that proves your point, and then your explanation. Now, for this type of essay, your examples is not going to necessarily be quotes from poetry or anything like that, or from song lyrics or anything, whatever that one video may discuss. This is any type of point that you want to make, whether it be logic, whether it be the incorporation of stats and statistics, or whether it be any type of pathos appeal argument that you're going to put in there. This is where your point comes in. So start with a topic sentence, give your point, and then your explanation is how that point proves your thesis to be true. You cannot automatically assume just because you give stats that your reader makes that connection to your thesis and believes your thesis. You have to explain how those stats, how those numbers, how your point proves your thesis to be true. And that's what's going on in the explanation portion. Now, last thing I wanted to mention here was your secondary source support. I put it in this structure because I think on a basic level, this works the best. This may not be always how it will pan out. You may switch a few things around, and that's fine. But you should have a topic sentence. You should give your point that you want to argue, and then you come in with your secondary source support, and that's what that is. Your secondary sources are backup, are support for your argument. Your argument is number one in this paper. Nothing matters more than your argument. So those sources are going to back up the point that you already are making, all right? So this is where you want to come in and put your secondary sources in. Now, let me go ahead and show you. Paragraph 2, same structure. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Paragraph 6 are same structures. Now, a couple things. Number one, I have 6 paragraph spots here. You don't have to fill them all out, but they are there in case you need them. I will say that you will not do any less than 4. 5 is probably average for everyone, but still, you have 6 in case you need that 6th one. Also, that you'll notice that every paragraph has a secondary source support section. You will not necessarily have a source in every paragraph. You may just have 3 paragraphs out of your 5 or 6 in the body that you actually have secondary source support. That's totally fine. 2 of the paragraphs, say, may come from the same source. Totally fine. So don't think that every body paragraph has to have a new individual point from a secondary source. It doesn't. This is your argument, so how you structure your points in the body is all dependent upon how you particularly want to put it together and where the support lies, okay? So with that being said, you have to think this paper is a categorization, just like you did with your rhetorical analysis. Choose a point that you want to make that supports your thesis, put it in. Some people do like the strongest to the weakest or the weakest to the strongest. It's just kind of up to you. You could just decide, as the author here, what works best for your argument, okay? But you do not have to have a secondary source in every body paragraph. I just have it there because it will vary from student to student where sources will go, okay? So take this in there, fill this in. Obviously, you'll notice that when you start typing, it'll start doing this stuff. That's fine. If you want to, like, delete the lines, you can do that, and just type from there. It's fine. I'll understand. I'll see what's going on, okay? And then for your conclusion, just restate your thesis for now. That's good enough, okay? All right. And then when you're done with that, you'll go to your outlines and submit it. It is going to be due by Sunday, obviously, as always. And click into it to see your due date. And that's it, y'all. That's what we're going to do for this week. For those coming to class, when you come to class prepared. I know if you're watching this on Monday and you're coming to class on Monday, still come as prepared as you can. And I'll help you with this week. If you're coming on Wednesday, definitely come prepared. And I'll help you with this as much as possible. But the one thing you need to be doing that's a pitfall right now for a lot of students is not having any sources, not doing any kind of preliminary research by this point. You must start doing that right now. You should have started doing it last week. So if you haven't done it now, do it now, because this is definitely not the type of paper, it's definitely not the kind of class where you can wait till the last minute. Research takes time, and it adds up and builds up. You can't wait till last minute to do research. That's when people stay up all night doing research trying to write a paper, and then it's inadequate because it takes time, okay? It takes time and time for you to process it and put it together. Okay, y'all, that's it. So if you have any questions with that, please let me know as soon as possible. Thank you.